Hey, shalom everyone. Welcome again to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. This is going to kind of go with the 2010 video series. I want to talk about delegating help, especially for those who have the melancholy / choleric A-type personality that's very purpose-driven, very goal-driven, very self-sufficient. I'm targeting you. Before I decided to do this video, I realized I was preaching to myself, because I have to follow these very things and be reminded of these very things many times. It's difficult for people like us to trust other people, to depend on other people. We go by the philosophy, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. It's hard to find good help these days. And you don't want to trust other people, not necessarily that because they'll let you down or fail, but that's a small part of it, but because you feel that you know exactly what needs to be done, and you can do it right and do it right the first time without any qualms or questions, and you would rather just do it yourself than to go through the trouble of putting the burden on somebody else, not knowing if they're going to totally do it right or not. But these things need to be swept to the side, because last time I looked, I don't have a blazing S on my chest. Last time I took my clothes off, I didn't have any blue long johns underneath with a red cape. I'm no Superman. I'm mortal. You prick me, I bleed. I put my pants on the same way as everybody else does every day. And sometimes it's hard for me to remember that I can't do it myself, and that God has purposely allowed it to be that way, so I will depend on other people, grow with other people, connect with other people. So I'm speaking to all the leaders out there. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to admit you have limitations. Don't be afraid to confess that you've bit off more than you can chew. Don't be afraid to delegate responsibilities to other people. Like I said, this is a year, a season of do or die, of do or don't. There's no in between. It's a season where decisions have to be made swiftly and confidently, and to do that, people like me have to, relinquish our control, because we can be kind of control freaks, and relinquish some of that control and autonomy, and get help, delegate responsibilities, and ask others to assist. Another thing is, we are very protective of our ideas, our inspirations, the callings God has placed upon our lives, and therefore, sometimes not in an effort to be elusive or to be secretive in any way, but because we want to protect the things that God has given us, sometimes we're not as transparent as we are supposed to be, and it is an utmost necessity in ministry to be as transparent as possible, and I pray that I have been, and to be able to delegate responsibilities, because when you don't delegate and when you don't get the help you need, you find you have so much on your plate, and you put a lot of things on the back burner, forget about them, and they end up scalding and burning, and without meaning to, you end up breaking commitments, you end up breaking promises, you end up not following through with many commitments that you have made. You beat yourself up because you have fallen short of the goals in which you have set for yourself. So, if I could have a megaphone and put everything in all caps and exclamation points, this video would be it for people who have personalities like me. Hey, God gave Moses Aaron. God gave David Nathan. God gave, the patriarchs, their wives and other people. God gave Abraham not only Sarah but Eliezer. You will see that behind every great man of God, that they were others who were called to just as much greatness, but they decided to stay behind the scenes, backstage, helping out all they can, being faithful and loyal to their leaders. So behind every great man of God in the Scripture, there were people that were behind the scenes helping. And today, You have these loose cannon Lone Ranger type ministers, which I'm totally against, because you have to have help. You have to have people in the background that are faithful. You have to have people, advisors, that will set you straight, that will not be afraid to stand up to you and call it as they see it, because I don't have infinite vision. I'm not omniscient. I'm not omnipresent. Though people like us sometimes pretend and think we are to some degree, because we can do it all ourselves, and it's just a lie. It's not true. It is another scandal and scam, a trap of Hasatan, more concealed, greatly concealed than others, that often get us in that tripwire and have us strung upside down by our ankles in a tree. So, I urge every one of you that are in ministry and that have a personality like mine to find people that are willing to be alongside you in prayer. People that are older and wiser than you, or that are just, they're just have wisdom beyond their years and can see things coming before you do, that may be able to see from a different perspective than you do, and will be able to help you, keep you from pitfalls, and help you to succeed, so that this can be a season of doing instead of don't, of doing instead of dying. Shalom and Shavua Tov.